Hello. It's too early for meeting. You mean late? I'm very late again. Even later than yesterday. Alright. Anyway, I know I'm a bit late, but let's get into it. Look at that, boys. Look at that. 3 days to go. Alright, how big is this bad boy? Oh my gosh. They have uniques. Okay. For the record, I have no idea why we have a curse manifesto. My current opinion of curses is you get rewarded for self-casting them. Marks are very powerful against single targets. Blasphemy is really good. Self-curse is good with the Doom mechanic. Curse on hit still exists, both as a support gem for Mark on hit and as Hex Touch, which is good. Can you move the camp to the bottom? I could do that as well. I'm just gonna do it like this. It's fine. I'll just do it like this. It's fine. Go wide. I do that every day already. Hex strength against different monster tiers. Currently, Hex builds are at their weakest against monsters where they matter the most, and at their strongest where they matter the least. This is partly because Hexes have hidden penalties which reduce their effectiveness when fighting unique monsters and pinnacle bosses, currently 33 and 66% respectively. Like I said, this is where marks come into play. Not to mention a lot of curse effects have additional components to them, like Occultist gets damage reduction and malediction and whatnot, if a mob is cursed. So it's not necessarily even just the effect of the curse, just the fact that it's cursed. It's normal for these monsters to have various hidden penalties, as noting every single one would create a lot of clutter in their mod descriptions. Players can reasonably expect these monsters to be more difficult to fight, so in general showing the entire list of penalties is not very necessary. However, the penalty against Hexes is an outlier because it's much more significant compared to other hidden penalties. We've removed both of these penalties so that Hexes will be consistently effective against all monsters in the game. So now I'm scared. There's a reason they got nerfed. Temp chains and enfeeble trivialized bosses. Another issue that we feel undermines Hex builds is the Doom mechanic. I don't know how it undermines, but we designed Doom with the goal of making self-cast Hexes more effective than other trivial applications of Hexes, such as Blasphemy and Hex Touch. The Doom mechanic was somewhat successful in its goal, but came at the cost of adding a lot of complexity to Hex-related mechanics. I agree with that. Doom is annoying. We're removing the Doom mechanic, and as a consequence we'll be making several other changes to mechanics that previously interacted with Doom. Hexblast has had its skill mechanics and damage adjusted to account for the loss of Doom scaling. I mean, this is most likely a nerf. So Hexblast with Doom scaling had insane damage. So it's most likely a nerf because otherwise it would be like the most broken skill. Or the new mechanic is still very valuable, supposedly on a nerf on top end gear. If that's the case, that probably means the Doom amulet. Curse related uniques. We've they used the word buffed. We've buffed a bunch of hex related unique items and have reworked unique items that previously interacted with Doom, such as the Faded End unique ring. I don't even know what this is. Faded End. I don't even know what this is. Is it? No wonder I don't know what it is. I don't think I've ever seen anyone use this. Anathema. Increased cast speed, chance to gain a power charge when you cast a curse. Your curse limit is equal to your maximum power charges. What the? Bruh? What? That sounds insane. It actually sounds broken. Wow. Okay, I mean this is obviously OP. I think this is obviously OP. Yeah, this one is a good one. Heretic's Veil. This is an item I have not seen used in so long. +2 curse. Circular gems are supported by Blasphemy. Circular gems have increased reservation efficiency. Is it just buffing the reservation efficiency? So +2 over +1 reservation efficiency buff. I mean, it's small. It's small. Ensuring self-cast is powerful. In most cases, systems that facilitate somewhat automated gameplay like Hex Touch. I'm waiting for the you know what I mean? I'm waiting for the like slap. You know you know, I'm waiting for it. Is this it? Like Hex Touch applying hexes automatically should either come at a much higher cost or be less effective. Otherwise, the option to automate will always be the obvious choice and eclipse other interactive gameplay style. We've added penalties to both Blasphemy and Hex Touch. There it is, boys. Which grant less curse effect. Additionally, item mods that inflict a specific hex no longer do so with increased effect. This includes items where hex is meant to be a downside on the player. Wait, that just sounds better. Like in a good way. Like, if you self-curse it, the curse does what it says it does. And then if you have Blasphemy, it works at a weaker effect. And it works the same on everything. So it's like easy to know. Well, it kills self-curse, does it? Like if Blasphemy is like 50 or 66% less curse effect, you'll still want to use it obviously. But the self-curse will be very... it's not about it being necessarily better to self-curse. It's just easier to understand less effect on a baseline mechanic than the Doom mechanic. I still to this day, I still don't fully know the mechanics of Doom. I do like the simplification. So far it's actually... I'm skeptical. I'd want to see numbers. Different hex types are not evenly balanced when applied via hex on hit modifiers. Some hexes like Vuln and Despair. Oh, yeah. Nah, this is true. Look at Vuln, baseline. It only goes 30 to 39. So it's 30% at level 1, which makes it absolutely broken. What's a good example of a skill that really needs to level up? Like maybe every week? Yeah, 20 to 39 and the quality affects it. So it's 20 to 44. So it's like this huge gap in power versus this, which is tiny. We are stabilizing the gem scaling of hexes. In general, they should be twice as powerful than they are gem level 1, right? So this is basically just nerfing curse on hit, which is totally reasonable. To balance like what we just read before, that's totally reasonable. Scaling curse effect. We feel that there are currently too many sources of curse effect available. This has created a large power gap between players that have no investment in curses and those that have heavy investment into curses. How many builds actually scale curse effect though? Only curse bots? Do you think this section is specifically for curse bots? Because I can see that. Only group play, yeah. I mean, that's fine. I mean, curse bots are still gonna be powerful, I assume. Nerfing MP, yeah. They were worried that MP might come back for the league, eh? We are regulating the number of sources of curse effect throughout the game. This will also rein in the power of players building curse support characters. Yeah, we know. The curse effect notables on cluster jewels have been replaced with other appropriate ones. For example, the ones that used to grant flammability effect now allow your flammability to apply to hexproof enemies. Oh, that's kind of cool. And now also causes your ignite zone cursed enemies to deal damage faster. That's actually kind of a cool cluster though. The heck? That's a cool cluster actually. No, dude. Oh no. Please don't be a nerf. I mean, it's not gonna be a nerf, right? We have removed the 15% effect of your curses and enemies you curse have malediction stat. Okay? And your hexes can affect hexproof enemy stat has been moved. That's it. No, that's not it, right? We'll be renaming this notable passive as it no longer applies malediction to the enemies you curse. The curse effect removed from the notable has been moved to the passive tree. What? Wow, they just nerfed Occultist. Oh my god. It's a decent nerf. It so obviously lost the curse effect and malediction, but also it removes hexproof from Profane Bloom. Which means you have to take malediction now. Well, it's not gonna be malediction if you want the hexproof bypass. It's a pretty big nerf if you, yeah, to not have the bypass hexproof thing is really annoying. Because not all ascendancies, that was very optional. Like this ascendancy right here, there were a decent amount of builds that didn't take it. But now Profane Bloom won't work properly without malediction. Because they want to have that bypass. The only reason as well they're saying this is not a nerf, I mean, it is. I don't know. But the only reason they're acting like it's not that bad is because curses are stronger. But curses are stronger for everybody. The only difference is Occultist gets one additional curse. That's all it gets now, though. I'm surprised they didn't replace curse effect with something else instead of removing it. Or I'm certainly surprised they got rid of malediction. That makes Occultist extremely squishy. Enemies with malediction deal 10% reduced damage and take 10% increased damage. So it's like half fortify and a mini shock. It's quite powerful actually. And it's just gone. Hexblast has had its skill mechanics and damage adjusted to account for the loss of dim scaling. It now removes a random hex from an enemy, and you will deal more damage with hits and ailments if a hex was removed this way. Its damage is also more consistent because you no longer need to wait for doom to build up. Yeah, I don't mind that. Hexblast sounds really good still. This might actually provide a quality of life improvement that Hexblast really needed. And the fact that you no longer need the Doom Amulet might be a buff early game. I think that's what they're talking about. Lowering top end is bad for Ignite. They don't mean top end as in top end damage. They mean top end as in gear progression. Like Doom passives, Doom amulets, etc. would scale this further. Top end. But obviously now you don't need it. Keeping in mind it was not the easiest thing to get a good Doom amulet. That also frees up that amulet slot for something else. And the fact that you have a better playstyle, I mean, I don't think this is necessarily that bad. Conclusion. In general, hexes will be stronger against tough monsters and weaker against lesser monsters. We've removed Doom in order to simplify how hexes work and introduce penalties to automated hex applications to keep them from outclassing self-casting, and made several balance changes as a consequence of these changes. Yeah, I mean, look, honestly, I'm gonna say what I said at the beginning. I don't think this needed to be changed. I mean, they're good changes. I actually like everything here. It's overall quite good. I mean, the Occultist nerf is a nerf. It is what it is. Goodbye Doom. I still don't know what you do. I do like her banger comments like this, make it to the top. Based and true. Yeah, Doom, I mean, Doom worked though. I do want to say though, Doom might not have been clear on its mechanics, like the whole X amount of time to build up X amount of Doom to do X amount of thing. But we intuitively knew what it did. You wait and the curse gets stronger, right?
Will they finally buff Gladiator? I just despair when I look at the
No, they won't.
nodes. What did they do to my boy?
No. So the way things work is things are shit for a period of time. It hasn't been long enough. The good news is, I mean, if you're a softcore player, Glad is extremely popular. Like, yeah, if you're an SC, Glad is... Oh no! Wait, they don't even like it in softcore? I knew it was shit on hardcore, but I was like, at least in softcore people play it, right? Jesus. What? Jesus Christ. You glazing? The fuck is glazing? Urban Dictionary. Glazing. When a man rubs his... I'm not gonna fucking read that. I'm not gonna read that. I'm not gonna read that. I don't know what glazing is, but I'm not gonna read that. So people like... I mean, it's good. Yeah, they simplified it in a good way. And hopefully it'll work on bosses now in a way that is actually usable. You know how they said it's gonna be weaker against trash? Well, I think a lot of hardcore players will agree. You do actually die against trash. I mean, trash is dangerous. Like, it's not dangerous. It's actually quite dangerous. So... that might be, only thing I disagree with is less curse effect on blasphemy. The opportunity cost of blasphemy is the reservation. I don't think you disagree with this. I think you disagree with the number that they're gonna put on it. Like, if it was 10% less curse effect, would that really be so bad? No. What people really disagree with is the fact that it's probably gonna be like fucking 50% less curse effect. Or some obnoxiously high number, right? Yeah, we'll have to see the number. We'll have to see the number. I mean, if it's a small curse effect nerf, nobody really cares. If it's a large curse effect number, it literally guts it, so... I'd probably still use blasphemy at 20%. Agreed. Yeah, the number matters a lot here. 10%, 20%, acceptable. Once you approach 30, 40, 50, 60, dear God, right? I mean, we'll have to see. Toad, the YouTube editor, he's saying, yo, have you split the audio yet? And I didn't reply for 2 hours. Because I was thinking about it. I was like, do I work? You know, do I figure out how to do it? Do I split my audio? All that kind of shit, right? Or do I level Slayer? I am now level 54 Slayer. Guys, so yeah, no, I did reply. I just decided to level Slayer instead, so. The reason that we got a curse manifesto is because they made curse changes. The reason we got a dual manifesto is because they made dual changes. The reason we don't have a crafting manifesto is because there are no crafting changes. Unless it's such a big part of the reveal, aka it's inherently tied to the league mechanic or something big like that, that the crafting changes are the announcement. So either there's 0 crafting changes, but there's next to 0 crafting changes, nothing worth making a manifesto over, or it's such a big part of the reveal that we'll have to wait 3 days to find out. Personally, I'm not gonna lie, I'm very nervous for the reveal. I actually would rather play the main game after playing Ruthless. I don't know how much staying power Ruthless has long term. If there's no crafting changes, if there's no meta changes, like if there's no defense changes, no skill rebalances, no crafting changes, I'm probably playing Ruthless because it's way more interesting than like the game without none of that stuff. There is melee changes. They did say melee changes actually. Look, the league mechanic could be the crafting changes, and they already did hint at melee changes. So melee could be meta, and then the league mechanic could change crafting. That would immediately make me keen.